Hello, my lovely Wolfpack, and welcome to the Lone Wolf Show, brought to you by Wolfpack Media, the most entertaining place on YouTube for your news and commentary. I'm your host, Justin Huseman, founder and news contributor. We have a great show today, and I can't wait to get started. But before we do, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. Join the pack today. Okay, so on Friday, one of the most prominent witnesses in the Jeffrey Epstein case, Virginia Giuffre, died by an apparent suicide. So let me tell you, folks, this story is really weird. And it just keeps getting weirder too as the days go on here. Now we don't want to make assumptions, of course, but let's lay out the facts as it's being reported, and you guys can kind of form your own opinions on this. All right, so this whole story started a couple of weeks ago when Virginia was apparently involved in a car accident with a school bus in Western Australia, where she apparently was injured and was being treated at the Charles Gardner Hospital. So it was first reported that the school bus driver hit her car going at about 70 miles per hour or 110 miles per kilometer or whatever. But after an interview with the actual driver of the school bus, he said that apparently that whole story was completely untrue and that it was a minor car accident, and what he did was he merely bumped her tail light, causing minimal damage to just like the tail light of the car. He even said apparently that he didn't even at the time think that there was anybody in the car, like that it was completely fabricated, that he was going at a super high speeds, and it was apparently just such a minor traffic accident that the cops weren't even called. This story is really weird and it makes no sense. So right there, the story is already very, very strange. Like, how was it that she was severely injured in this minor accident? So badly, in fact, that she had gone into kidney renal failure and was given 4 days to live. But yet, the other weird part of the story was that even the police say that there was no injuries reported to them. So she got into this car accident, quote unquote, where she got so badly hurt she went into renal failure, but yet it was never reported. This was never reported to the police. It was such a minor car accident that the police weren't even called. They had no reports of somebody getting injured, because otherwise, if somebody would have got injured, the police definitely show up when somebody gets injured in a car accident. That's just like how it goes. And yeah, so apparently somehow, even though she was given only 4 days to live, she left the hospital and went home. Then there was a weird story from People magazine, because this is right after, just, I guess I should give to you guys like an order here of how this happened. So after the bus thing, it was later reported by People magazine that allegedly she was being beaten by her husband for a long time. So that was weird. And it was weird because this story came out like a couple days after it seemed like the bus crash story seemed to be getting debunked by the bus driver and even the police chief of that particular town. So that was really weird too on its face, that just the fact that immediately after it seemed like the reporting on the bus driving accident wasn't making sense, then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this story pops up from People magazine that she was allegedly being beaten by her husband for years. So that was really weird. The fact that she didn't report any of that, and like, mind you, this is the lady that like with threats against her life, went out and testified in court against Jeffrey Epstein. Do you think a person like that, that's brave enough to go through all that, would be afraid to go and tell people that she was getting beat by her husband? Plus, it was just such weird timing that this story came out. Because, like I said, it was when they did the interview with the bus driver, and he seemed to have basically debunked the whole car accident story. Then immediately afterwards, the story of her husband beating her comes out. Like they were trying to set up some sort of narrative of what was going on here. And it was so weird how apparently the doctors gave her 4 days to live, but yet still released her from the hospital. Like that doesn't make any sense, dude. That's just not how like shit like that generally works. So anyway, I digress. So then after being released from the hospital, she was found dead in her rural home, her family claiming in a statement that it was suicide. Now, hold on a minute here. Here's where it's weird again. Hold on a minute here, because I want to direct you to real quick to this tweet that she posted, and I'll tell you. I will say right away first that this was a tweet from about 5 years ago, but still, I think it's important to note. Let's take a look at it here from Virginia Giuffre's Twitter account, our X account, whatever you want to call it. I am making it publicly known that in no way, shape, or form am I suicidal. I have made this known to my therapist and GP. If something happens to me, in the sake of my family, do not let this go away and help me to protect them. Too many evil people want to see me quieted. Now, so you may be saying, Justin, that was an old post. Things may have changed. And I say, maybe, maybe. But if I'm going to use Occam's razor here, more likely there's something a little more nefarious afoot. I call shenanigans, because just like going over all of that stuff that's happened in such a short period of time, I just have a hard time believing that this was suicide. Like, I don't know, that she doesn't seem like the suicidal type, especially like you don't put a post up like that. Like, dude, I'm making it publicly known that I am no way, I don't think she minces words there. I in no way, shape, or form am I suicidal, she says. Like that can't be misconstrued in any way. Now, you could try to tell me that, oh, well, we don't know if something might have changed in her life, or we don't know her mental state at this time, or blah, blah, blah. But, like I say, excuses are like buttholes, dude. But anyway, I digress. Let's take a look at the news here on this. I'll try to pull it up here. Let's see if the news has any sort of information that we don't already have. I doubt it, but let's take a look. From CBS News, Virginia Giuffre, prominent Jeffrey Epstein accuser, dies by suicide. Virginia Giuffre, one of the most outspoken accusers of Jeffrey Epstein, died by suicide on Friday, Giuffre's family confirmed in a statement provided to CBS News. Giuffre died at her farm in Western Australia, her family said. She was 41. She lost her life to suicide after being a lifelong victim of sexual abuse and sex trafficking, her family statement read. Virginia was a fierce warrior in the fight against sexual abuse and sex trafficking. She was the light that lifted so many survivors. Despite all the adversity she faced in her life, she shone so bright she will be missed beyond measure. Oh, come on. Having some computer issues here. Okay. Her death is being investigated by local police detectives, but authorities indicated that the death was not suspicious in nature. Sure. About a month before her death, Giuffre was seriously injured when a car was riding. What the? Somebody didn't write this right. Their editor needs to be fired. Was seriously injured when a car she was riding in was hit by a school bus in Western Australia. Giuffre had alleged that Epstein sexually trafficked her to Britain's Prince Andrew and others. Prince Andrew has denied those claims. Giuffre filed a lawsuit against Andrew in 2021, alleging that she was sexually abused by Andrew when she was 17. An out of court settlement was reached in 2022. Virginia was. Come on. It's not letting me scroll. Sorry, guys. I got some computer issues. Okay. Virginia was much more than a client to me. She was a dear friend and an incredible champion for other victims. Her attorney, Sigrid Macaulay, said in a statement. Her courage pushed me to fight harder, and her strength was awe-inspiring. The world has lost an amazing human being today. Rest in peace, my sweet angel. Giuffre was born in California, and in grade school, she moved to Florida with her family. Giuffre experienced a troubled childhood growing up, telling the Miami Herald that at age 7, she was first molested by a family friend. She said, "The abuse turned my entire life around. Everything changed." Giuffre met British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell in the early 2000s when working as a locker room attendant at President Trump's Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach, where her father was a maintenance supervisor. Giuffre and Maxwell connected her with Epstein and others. In 2019, Epstein, a convicted sex offender, was arrested on federal sex trafficking charges. A month after he was arrested, Epstein was found dead in his jail cell at a Manhattan jail. As he awaited trial on sex trafficking charges, his death was ruled suicide. Yeah, who believes Jeffrey Epstein killed himself? Let me know in the comments. I'm scrolling down. In 2019, Epstein, a convicted offender, was arrested on federal sex trafficking charges. Oh, I already read that. Sorry. I'm getting a little turned around. Giuffre had also accused Epstein's former girlfriend, Maxwell, of grooming and abusing her when she was 17, telling CBS News in 2020 that Maxwell was the guy controlling Jeffrey. Maxwell was convicted in 2022 and sentenced to 20 years in prison for helping Epstein sexually abuse underage girls for at least a decade. Giuffre formed a nonprofit called Speak Out Act Reclaim, or SOAR, to educate and advocate for sex trafficking victims. Once again, looking at that, it's hard for me to believe that a person like that would commit suicide. It makes no sense. Like, she has kids and a husband and shit too. So I don't know. It's all looking very sus to me. Anyway, that's enough of that. It doesn't seem like that article had any information whatsoever that we didn't already know. It mostly went through. It didn't say anything about the suicide. Like, that's how little information we're getting here. And I don't know, man. And it's been like a few days. This happened on Friday, so I feel like we should have more information right now. I always get suspicious whenever somebody dies. It's always like a suicide. It's always ruled a suicide, and then afterwards there's like no information whatsoever. None. Like, it was just a suicide. And then that's the end of the information that you get. Like, this is all very, very, very confusing. And so another thing I want to do here real quick is I want to show you guys a couple of videos of her being interviewed. I'm going to start with this first one that I found on X here. If I can go back to my previous page here and then scroll down. Let's see. All right, so this one was NBC News exclusive. I don't remember when this was taken. It doesn't seem to say. All right. Anyway, we'll play it here for you guys. Just give me 1 second. All right, here we go. I got this off of X. from We Have It All. Let's just go ahead and take a look here.
I was so young. Ghislaine woke me up in the morning and said, "You're going to meet a prince today." I didn't know at that point that I was going to be trafficked to that prince. And then that night, Prince Andrew came to her house in London, and we went out to Club Tramp. Prince Andrew got me alcohol. It was in the VIP section. I'm pretty sure it was vodka. Prince Andrew was like, "Let's dance together." And I was like, okay. And we leave Club Tramp, and I hop in the car with Ghislaine and Jeffrey. And Ghislaine said, "He's coming back to the house. And I want you to do for him what you do for Epstein." I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that even royalty were involved.
Wow. That's crazy, dude. Anyway, we got another one here that I will quickly want to take a look at. Give me a second and I'll pull that up. Alright, so then we got this one here. I believe this is her. She's telling the same story. It's a little bit longer form of a video, of interview, it seems like. I'm not sure. Is it from the Times, I believe it's from? I'm not sure, but you can find it on YouTube or whatever if you guys want to look for yourselves. But for now, let's take a look. Once again, same story she's telling here, it seems like. The story about her getting, by Prince Andrew. Let's take a look.
He asked me to dance. He is the most hideous dancer I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it was horrible, and this guy was sweating all over me. Like, his sweat was it was raining basically everywhere, and I was just like, whoa, grossed out from it. But I knew I had to keep him happy because that's what Jeffrey and Ghislaine would expect from me. People on the inside are going to keep coming up with these ridiculous excuses, like his arm was elongated, or the photo was doctored, or he came to New York to break up with Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, come on. I'm calling BS on this because that's what it is. He knows what happened. I know what happened. And there's only one of us telling the truth, and I know that's me. I implore the people in the UK to stand up beside me, to help me fight this fight, to not accept this as being okay. This is not some sordid sex story. This is a story of being trafficked.
All right, wow. All right, so yeah. The reason why I bring those videos up, because I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Like, I just wanted to show you guys, does that seem like the type of person that would kill themselves, dude? Just saying. She doesn't seem like the type of person that's weak-spirited, And I'm sorry to say, but people that unalive themselves are pretty weak of spirit, and she just does not seem like that. Not to me. So, but I guess I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy that bitches on the internet, but let me know what you guys think. But my friends, I just want you to think about this. Considering the high profile nature of the Epstein case, the cover-up, and the ongoing investigation, the fact that the documents were set to be released and then weren't, and then all of a sudden, one of the principal witnesses almost dies, and then does end up dying, says she isn't suicidal, but is said to have committed suicide. Like, something is blocking the release of these Epstein files, and I'm supposed to believe that all of these things are just a coincidence. I don't think so. It doesn't make sense for all of these things to occur at once. And like I said, without making many assumptions, I just think I call shenanigans, dude. There's no way that I'm going to sit here and believe that this woman killed herself. That all of these weird circumstances surrounding it, too, are all just a coincidence. I can't. And if you guys know me well enough here on the channel, I don't believe in coincidences at all. And in my mind, there are no such thing as coincidences. But we'll leave it there because I don't I guess there's no point to sit here and speculate any further, but you guys kind of form your own opinions. Tell me what you think here. What do you think is going on? Are you of the belief that it's all just a coincidence? It's happenstance. Does nothing like this feel weird to you, or do you think that this is some straight up BS and that something nefarious is afoot? Let us know what you guys think in the comments. You can find us on X and Facebook. You can find us here on YouTube at Wolfpack Media 92. And don't forget, we're also on Rumble if you prefer Rumble over YouTube. So go check us out there. And until next time, I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.